Welcome back to another episode of the Mindless Project. This is officially episode 2 for the books. I'm Alex.
I'm Art,
And I'm Michael.
and today we're going to be discussing climate change. Is it real, or is it all a hoax? That is what we're going to be talking about.
It's definitely a hoax.
Right.
It's definitely a real hoax.
It's a
Just
real
like the Earth is
hoax.
flat.
The Earth is obviously flat.
Bro.
But
Okay,
I also heard some strong evidence about the Earth could be
a tetrahedral.
mhm.
I don't even know what
Yeah.
that means.
Okay. So, what is climate change? Climate change, or global warming, however you want to call it, is when the Earth becomes either hotter and colder. Not either; it's both. Um, it is a thing that Earth does because of how much gas is in the atmosphere, how much greenhouse gases
Carbon to be exact.
and carbon. Yes,
Carbon.
carbon.
Dioxide,
Carbon.
actually.
What causes the carbon though? Like I've heard a lot about okay, so a lot of people might be asking stupid people like me. Um why does CO2 exist when there's photosynthesis? Doesn't plants actually take in CO2 and convert it into O2?
Well,
Yes.
Mr. Dummy, that is true. However, what is very prominent in today's day and age is deforestation, which is taking down trees, and forest. If you look on a map, like a recent a map of like green and of just the earth, you can see that there's less green and there's less green and there's less green because obviously the governments and everything else destroys trees to produce wood, to produce paper, to produce all the things that we need for tools and such. So that's to answer your question.
Sounds
Actually, to emphasize about that, I years back I saw a map over time of Greenland, and so Greenland's supposed to be like super covered in snow and stuff, but over the years there has been less and less snow actually. So that's a sign of the Earth warming up, and apparently, like over the eons, Earth has gone into global warming by itself without the effects of humans. So it has been an occurring thing, but humans are rapidly increasing the warmth in the earth. So we're kind of like
I would
aiding global warming.
suppose so. Look at the cars
Yeah.
emitting a lot of these gases
Yeah.
and what Michael said, the deforestation and all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that lead into climate change and global warming.
That's why Elon Musk made Tesla, right? To eliminate
That
some of
is
that
one
stuff.
reason.
Yeah, one reason.
Electric cars are something that has been thought of in the past couple of years because it will be able to limit the emissions from cars because cars are another factor in how hot the earth gets. There's a lot of traveling in fossil fuels, which are non-renewable energy resources. There's a lot of burning of that, and it's carbon emissions, and it's all stuff that also leads into the earth warming up and also getting really cold because we all live in Texas, and this past winter has been one of the coldest winters it's been in a while.
True.
So yeah,
Like it did snow actually here in the valley.
I thought it snowed last year.
So
yeah, it snowed last year.
well, yeah.
That's the first time it snowed in a long time. The last time it snowed was like in 2004, which is
In
quite a
14
bit.
years. 14
Yeah.
years.
The last time it snowed in Texas was back in 2004, I believe.
And then before
Yes.
that, I think it was like 20 or 30 years.
Yes, but point is, Earth is temperature changing. It's not only just warming; it's also getting cooler, which is another
Mhm.
problem that happens everywhere else.
A lot of natural disasters are
Yes.
occurring as well.
Another thing that also happens, yes, exactly. Another thing that also happens with climate change is that the storms get more amplified because there's so much warm water. Hurricanes
Oh yeah.
rely on warm water to
Mhm.
become stronger, and since there's more warm water because the Earth is warming, there's also bigger storms. Like
Yeah.
a couple years ago, Hurricane Harvey also hit Texas, and that storm lasted for a couple days. It was pretty big. I mean, it flooded the entire city of Houston.
Also Sandy.
Houston was underwater, and yeah, and Hurricane Sandy of another years back, it was on the East Coast, and that fucked the East Coast.
Florence, no, wasn't
all
it?
the way up in the ass.
Hurricane Florence that hit the upper East Coast.
Well, the point is,
North Carolina.
Yeah, the East Coast has been having a lot of problems too because we live in the Gulf. Obviously, we live in Texas, which is part of the Gulf of Mexico, and the Gulf of Mexico usually has the biggest problems from hurricanes, and now the East Coast is getting hurricane problems too, but because the water is warming.
Also, we have problems with tornadoes as well, and there's even more monsoons occurring on the eastern hemisphere.
Yeah, so
in Asia,
it just amplifies the weather effects. So it's not necessarily earthquakes, just rain.
I got a question. Considering the rate that we're going at with all this global warming, do you think we'll live to see, our old age, or even our grandchildren or our children's you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think no, it won't affect us drastically in our lifetime, but it'll definitely affect our grandchildren.
Yeah.
That's what sucks, man. I want to have a good life and be able to see my children grow up and my grandchildren grow up, and man, it sucks for. I mean, like you said, it probably wouldn't affect us, but it'll affect them. That just sucks for them because they have to live through it, and I mean, we have to do something now in order to make life better for them at that time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. We could actually still change global warming right now. We have a cutoff date. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that.
A lot of people say it's already too late.
No, in about 12 years, I think. That's the cutoff date. After 12 years, if we haven't done anything by then we're actually fucked.
Okay, so my next question is, are we actually doing something about it?
A lot of organizations have been trying to recently.
I guess they're going to have to get political and shit. Unfortunately, America is not doing anything about it right now because of the current president in office.
Yeah, because
unfortunately,
he doesn't believe in global warming, right?
He doesn't believe in global warming. He doesn't believe in climate change. He tweeted both past years, if global warming exists, why is it so cold? And I literally made a joke about this when I was like last year of high school. I was like, and I made it I don't want to be racist, but I made it in a white person voice, why is it getting so cold if the Earth's warming? That doesn't make any sense. And this dude actually tweeted that. So there's a problem. It's a problem with the people in office right now that there's no change.
Just a bunch of
there's no
people,
want to change. And
I know
that's unfortunate.
I've been listening to I don't know if you guys are familiar with the NPR news or whatever. It's a radio station that I listen to every morning. Some countries are actually taking an initiative to fix things around the world and create policies to decrease the greenhouse gas or plant more trees, stuff like that. And the fact that they can do it but we can't, when we're one of the biggest countries in the world who have a lot of power in what we do, that just says a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know if
and unfortunately, and there's one organization in the world, the Paris Climate Agreement. I don't know if you guys remember, but Trump, the president, unfortunately took us out of that agreement. That agreement was with countries around the world who are trying to change, who are trying to actually change climate change and reverse it. But unfortunately, the current president took us out of it. So America hasn't been involved in that stuff as much as people would want to be.
Yeah, the U.S. government's a huge cuck when it comes to helping the world better.
Yeah.
I guess we can get into ways we could actually make a difference.
Actually, I do have one question to ask. One last question to ask. So I've been hearing a lot of talk about the ice caps melting and that's kind of like scaring me because we're from a place like our hometown. We're from a place where it's very low altitude, and I think we're like a couple hundred meters above sea level.
No,
Yeah.
So,
we're below sea level.
oh, actually,
Wait,
yeah.
we are? I
West
thought we
Coast
were
is below
like
sea level.
50
West
feet
Coast
above.
slightly below sea level.
So that means that the
Oh,
ice
damn.
cap, if the whole ice cap melts, then we're gonna be underwater basically, and our only
Yes,
choice is just to move up upstate.
Yeah.
unfortunately, yes.
That's scary, dude. That's really scary.
I don't think the polar ice caps. I think if we keep going at the rate that we're going now, it'll take quite a long while for what? I'm having a stroke. Fuck. That the ice caps will melt. Maybe in about 100 years, couple 100 years. But even then, it's still gonna change the ocean life and stuff.
Yeah, it's
It's
still
gonna
dangerous. It's still
it's
a
gonna
dangerous thing
disrupt
that's
like the
gonna occur.
currents.
It's scary. It is scary because
Mm-hmm.
not only is that going to have an effect, it's also the animals and the animal life that surrounds the ice caps, the polar ice caps in Antarctica and the Arctic. I don't know if you guys have heard about the Netflix show. I forgot what it's called, but it kind of shows walruses like having to like fight for places to sleep on because they're used to sleeping on the cold, but now there's a lot of like melted ice, so they have to find ice little things to float on. And there was one scene that showed the walruses climbing up a mountain just to even climbing up a cliff to have that luxury of sleeping on ice, and then they end up like
What?
falling to the death because predators are chasing them.
Damn.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah,
Oh, is it
Damn.
our planet? Is that what it is?
yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm here on Netflix.
that's pretty crazy.
Damn.
I think I need to look into that. Let's see. So, what else can we put into this?
So, people are still wondering if maybe it's real or not, and yes, it is real. There's actual
Yeah,
historical evidence from going back like hundreds of thousand years.
there's quite a bit of evidence. I mean, anyone can just literally just do research, and you'll find out that yes, it is happening. It's not something you can just be ignorant to, and it's not just the Earth being the Earth. No, it's real. It's something that it's gonna happen eventually, and maybe in our lifetime if we don't stop what we're doing.
Yeah,
Take
and
a look at
Leo
this.
tried warning us a couple years back.
What, Leo?
DiCaprio, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Really? What do you say?
Yeah, he said that when he got his first Oscar, and he went up to the mic, he started talking and how we all should put in, we all should help out and help the environment and help the world to relieve all this global warming. But even then, people still haven't listened.
See, I don't know. People are stupid. I'm like,
Hmm.
no cap. People are retarded, and a lot of that is gonna get us in trouble because just look what's happening now. They're literally, you know, making spaceships to get out of this planet, and we have nowhere else to go but Mars, and Mars isn't even habitable. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, this world is really ending, and every day that goes by, it's fucked, man. But I
Yeah,
mean,
it's turning into a real shitty place, to be honest.
and it's not even. I feel like I honestly thought like the world would end with nuclear war or something. It's not even that.
Mm.
Hmm.
Um, but since I am talking about space travel, that also seems like really scary, but really cool at the same time.
Yeah,
Um,
this is a solution that we're working on as well. If things don't go here, um, we have like kind of like a backup plan, which is like space travel, and I think that's what the expedition to Mars is. Kind of like a backup plan, but also kind of like research as well.
Would y'all ever do that?
Go to Mars?
Yeah,
Travel.
like be the
If I
first
can.
person on Mars.
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be hella expensive,
Yeah,
but
Why?
I don't think I actually would. Maybe not.
I don't think I would.
Why not?
I'd rather be on here fixing the problem than be over there. You know, it's more of a it's trying to make Mars habitable is going to take a long time.
Mhm.
It's not an easy task because the air isn't really easy to breathe. The soil isn't really easy to plant stuff. It's not the same.
I heard that in order to terraform Mars, like they need to nuke the poles or something like that in order to cool down the air. Or I don't know.
Bro,
I read
I
that
don't
somewhere.
know. Maybe it's a little too much, but I think it's just the problem of it needs to take a while for Mars to become like habitable, like toward the fact that we can just walk out and like, breathe the air of Mars. You know, like it's not something. Obviously, we can't do that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah.
But
Before that's possible, we need to plant
I think a good thing about what that comes with space travel is, but good thing with space travel is that it makes us more aware of other planets in the galaxy or in the solar system that we can potentially habit that can also prolong the human race. If the Earth is unreversible and it's climate change,
I know NASA has actually found a lot of other planets that are habitable, but the only problem is it's so far away. It's like 1.5
Yeah.
million light years away or something like that.
yeah, it's pretty far. There's a lot of Earth-like planets, but there's been talk about one of the moons. I think it's Saturn.
Yeah, one of the big
There might be
big
water,
planets.
like because there's geysers, like view visible from space, and like there's geysers of water. So if, like, how can there be geysers of water? Like there has to be some type of heat source, and that means that there's some type of water also underneath that shell.
Yeah.
So that's what I had heard about.
How crazy would it be if like we ended up turning into Avatar, like that whole movie where, but not in a sense where we go colonize another planet when it's already colonized. Maybe, considering the way the world turned out and how we had to colonize a bunch of people, the British and Spaniards or whatever, it could potentially be like that, but it's crazy to think about. That could potentially happen.
Hmm.
Wait, are you talking about how the
If the need
the
comes,
chaos that ensued
no,
when
I'm talking
they
about like if we ever go find another planet, habitable planet to live on, light years away, um, how it could potentially be like that movie Avatar.
and how there's conflict?
Yeah.
There could be conflict. I mean, look at the way. That's why I'm saying look at the way we turned out with
Mm-hmm.
the colonization of America or whatever.
I think the thing is that when a civilization in like wherever or whatever planet like conquers the light speed, like the space travel, and has really gotten that to a T, I think that makes every other civilization that we've encountered who hasn't like made space travel a thing, that makes us superior to them because of the fact that we can travel through space and they can't, means that we definitely have the technology to be more superior than them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
More
look how
advanced.
Avatar turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was a movie. That was a movie.
I
This
mean,
is real life.
anything is possible if you just believe.
A really good movie, I might add.
Bro, they're actually making a part 2. That's
It was
crazy.
okay.
They're making
yeah.
4 more parts.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've already done recording like 3 of them.
I am watching all of them.
I'm watching
Yeah.
probably none of them.
Um, what about what can we do now? I know a lot of us watching, I don't know who watches our videos, like the age range or whatever, but a lot of us are in college, we're poor, we can't donate to foundations or organizations to help climate change. What can we do as an individual to, help the earth with, I'm
I
talking
guess
about like,
like hands on. That's what you mean, like hands on
like,
stuff that we can
okay,
do.
I was
Yeah.
thinking more of like if you see litter in the ocean or at the beach or at the side of the road or on campus at your school, pick it up, recycle.
Yeah, that's one way of helping. Yeah.
But I just
Hmm.
want to know if there's like any other ways.
You could also start eating less red meat because like what's it called? Factory farming.
Oh, that's true. A lot of their emissions come from feces, right?
Yeah, from the cows.
Not a
Um,
lot, but some emissions, yes.
I think
Because there's over just so many of the cows that are raised to just become food for America.
mhm.
Hmm.
I think I read a
They,
statistic where 1/5 of the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere is because of factory farming.
1/5.
Hmm.
God damn. And what else? Like nuclear plants and stuff.
well, we're not saying to not eat meat. Also, like there's a difference between like
Yeah.
supporting factory farms and supporting like regular farms. Like if I guess like yeah, one way to help is to like stop buying food from the big companies and start buying
Yeah,
food locally. Like that'll be a good help because farmers don't really make a lot of money, and
that's
buying food
true.
from them would be a good thing. I
Or
know
just
that's something that I
even
would
eat
want to
less.
do.
Yeah, honestly, I can relate to that because my dad is actually a farmer, and well,
Oh, for real?
yeah, he actually farms down in the valley, and he does a lot of beets, corn, and uh, I forgot what else, but sometimes he really doesn't make money, because well, it's not that the fact that he there's nobody who wants to buy it. It's just the climate. It goes hand in hand with the climate, since the valley
Mm.
has a lot of bipolar weather. I'm not even talking about the valley in general. I'm talking about Texas. Texas has a bipolar weather system, and it can really mess with my
Because of
dad's
climate change.
crops. So
Yeah,
he's been really struggling for the past few years because it's hard to grow corn when you don't have the perfect weather for it, and he ends up losing a lot of money. So, and it's hard to support his family. It's hard to pay off his house, his truck, his whatever he needs to pay off because he's not making money.
Hmm. Also, the fact that it is to compete with other bigger corporations.
Exactly.
yeah. That's the thing with America. Big corporations taken from the small.
Hmm.
But yeah, going local. I know like that's something that we can't do right now. I want to do that, but I don't have the money
Yeah.
for it because it is a lot more expensive. But it's not only that, but it supports them, but it also helps you because it's also a lot healthier to go local. The food will
Hmm.
be a lot better,
Less
a lot more
GMOs.
fresh. There's less GMO. There's less GMOs. There's less what is it, pesticides. There's less just a lot of stuff that the big corporations use to prolong the food
Basically, it's organic, and
in a way.
organic equals what? Like good.
Organic really isn't as it. I'm not really a fan of organic stuff. It's just a markup price. To me, it just seems like a price markup.
Hmm.
Oh, really?
Like yeah, organic food to me just seems like it's just called organic food just to get a few cents out of a person's pocket.
God damn
Um,
these
I just say the best
corporations.
way to go. Yeah, the best way to do it is just go local. Like I said, like they don't call their food organic for a reason.
Yeah.
Like
That's
farmers markets. But I'm not
yeah,
even sure
farmers
there's
market.
like very many farmers markets.
Well, they can't. There isn't because it's competition,
There's
bro. Nobody's
hardly
gonna,
any in the
yeah,
valley.
because well, actually, no, there is one.
There is some in my area in Bryan College Station. There's one, and
Yeah,
they have a lot of stuff there. I don't know about San Antonio.
I
That's
don't
I know
know.
in Houston there's a lot also.
I know there's a
Um,
farmers market in Westlaco right behind Little Caesars. I believe so. Because
wait for real.
I've seen signs that say farmers market every weekend or every other week. I don't
yeah,
know,
well,
something like
yeah,
that.
so that's another thing of helping. Um,
Honestly, we really need to get educated on this issue because it's very important and it's very crucial that we know what is happening because, like Art said, the cutoff date is what 12 years from
12.
now,
Yeah, 12 years
and
from now.
if we really don't comply with anything, we're gonna die. We are really gonna die, and that's not
Like
really.
our species.
Yeah,
Not us like specifically, but yeah, our species will eventually.
and it's scary to think about. If you want to see your kids grow up in a nice place, if you want to see your grandkids grow up in a nice place, then I'd say really look into it and start doing something about it. It can be the smallest thing, like picking up a piece of wrapper on the floor, to the
Mm.
biggest thing, donating money to corporations or not corporations, organizations helping out for climate change. I don't know why I said that, but
I've actually done some research like on how to like um live like a a minimalist life when it comes to like using up energy. So like I've seen like videos where people go out like in the woods or whatever, they build a house and they add like um solar panels and everything to
oh
power their
yeah,
electrical appliances.
oh yes, another
solar
thing
panels is good.
that yes, okay, glad you brought that up, Art. Another way of helping reversing and maybe even potentially fixing climate change, fixing the Earth, is to redirect our energy resources from non-renewable to renewable,
Yeah.
which means redirecting our energy that we use for oil, for coal, like all the stuff that we get from the earth that can't be renewed, or takes a long time, to going to wind energy, to solar panel energy, and
Hydro even.
hydro energy. Also, like those things that we can use that the earth can regenerate really fast. That's another way of helping the earth prolong its life
Mhm.
and helping us prolong our life.
You know what's
Um,
crazy? Actually, right outside of San Antonio, when I'm driving back down to the valley, I noticed this little area to my right. Um, it's like this huge piece of land, and it's a solar panel farm. I didn't even know we had it. I
Oh, that's
thought it
pretty
was
cool.
pretty cool, and it's just like a bunch of solar panels like spread out through this whole piece of land, and
Do you know where
that.
it goes to?
No, I don't. I would say San Antonio, maybe? I have no idea. I have never researched into it or asked, but the
We
fact.
have come a long way from solar panels since the beginning. Like they're being they're becoming more efficient in like
yeah,
saving energy.
Yeah, but.
yeah, and again, not to get political, but unfortunately, our current president made a mockery of wind energy, saying how he knows wind and he studied the wind, and it doesn't always happen. That's not the point. The point of wind energy is that it generates power by rotating and it stores the power
Mhm.
just in case. It doesn't. There's not always like 30-mile-per-hour winds every day, but there's wind nonetheless. You never gonna, or you can experience, but there's always gonna be some wind that's gonna happen in the day. It's
Yeah, at
not
least once a
just
week.
yeah, like it just doesn't. It's not like just it only requires 20 miles per hour wind. No, like if the 20-mile-per-hour wind, it's probably gonna have enough energy for a month or something. But
Mhm.
that's the problem again with our current president, is that he's just ignorant to global warming, climate change, and other sources of energy that we humans can use.
Um,
That's why I've followed Elon Musk more often because I'm not sure if you guys have heard of one of his other companies called the Boring Company,
oh yeah.
but
Yes,
they've been
the flamethrower.
developing um solar panels but for your roofs.
Oh yeah,
So it
yeah,
acts
yeah.
like
Mhm.
tiles. Like the
Yeah,
solar panels are embedded in like the actual tiles of your roof. and that's actually pretty convenient and efficient.
Okay, but what about in a situation where there's hail?
They're covered with like some type of glass that's used.
Oh, like bulletproof glass or whatever.
Um,
Kind of.
Not necessarily bulletproof, but it can sustain the elements.
Oh, cool. Dude, that's awesome. I honestly like when I get a house, I'd probably put some solar panels on top of the roof, you know.
Yeah, I would.
That's what I've always been thinking about that ever since I moved to San Antonio because I've seen a lot of those houses like that here, and I thought it was
Mm.
cool and saves
Yeah.
energy. Another thing I was planning to do once I get my career started and I get money is
But
buy
if
a
you need the sun to
Tesla.
power your house, what about when it's dark outside?
Well,
That's where you get moon panels, dude.
Wind panels? No, okay. Just in case we got that kind of question, like, oh, what about nighttime? Are you gonna have no energy? No, it's not. Same thing with wind energy. When it stores energy, you just don't
Yeah,
have the light, and the light cuts off, there's no more energy. No, it stores energy. And it gives energy. There's a
there's actually
constant
battery
energy from it.
packs.
Yes, it comes with shit that holds energy for times where there's nighttime.
And anyways, you're not even gonna use a lot of electricity during the night.
yeah, I'd say
Mhm.
from like okay, during summertime from like 7 to 12. That's probably the most average time that people are up. You know, they're not going to stay up all night
Yeah.
unless
Yeah.
I don't know, unless you're like me, you stay up playing fucking video games all night.
I've
But
also read
back to-
into like.
Okay.
Wait, sorry.
I was gonna say go back to what Alex said about the electric cars.
Oh yeah,
About how
when I
it
get
is.
when I get older, I want to buy a Tesla because, you know, okay, here's the thing. You're paying so much for gas. If you eliminate a vehicle that uses what is it called? Gasoline,
Yes.
that's gonna save a lot of that's gonna save our planet basically because a lot of that emissions is what it's in the greenhouse gases and it's what's damaging our planet. But if you get an electric car, the only way, you know, to gas it up basically, you need to plug it into your house, um, which is gonna raise the electric bill, right? I was thinking about like the amount of electric that you use to charge your car, I feel like it equals to the amount of gas that you put in your vehicle, right? So it really doesn't matter. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be I'm not sure what word you'd use, but yeah, it could be similar to energy usage. But like, yeah, even if you use a lot of electricity to power your car, that's where you get like solar panels, and that's why Elon Musk has developed like.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's not the thing. Another thing is that electricity is not 100% the way to go. Electric
Yeah.
energy is also they also do use non-renewable resources to generate the energy, to generate the electricity,
mm,
to power stuff. So it's not always the best route. Electric cars, they're a step in the right direction. It's a step to it's a good step in the right direction to hurt the big oil companies and to limit the gas
Yeah.
emissions from the cars.
Yeah.
But it is not 100% the right way to go. Solar power cars, that is a right way to go. That relies on solar energy. That's renewable.
but what if you're driving at night?
What are you doing? Yeah. What if you're making long distance travels over 24 hours? Yeah.
Then
Well,
stop.
I guess you're gonna crash. I'm kidding. No. Again, it stores the energy. A battery doesn't all isn't
Hold
always
hold on. Stop
a
talking.
regular.
Wait, no, your mic, dude.
Michael,
Wait.
stop.
Your mic's fucking out, dude.
Stop talking. Hold on. Okay, talk.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're good now.
Yeah, I think so.
I stopped talking a long time ago.
Yeah, you were like, "Wah."
Okay, back. Okay, what was I saying before I cut off?
Something in the battery. Something about a battery.
Yeah. So car batteries do last a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The solar power will be going into the car batteries, and car batteries, like they don't last a couple days. They last a year. So
Yeah.
It's not only that, because electric cars and solar energy cars, those cars do rely on batteries to move the vehicle. Yes, it is different because you need to charge the battery, you need to charge the battery to move the vehicle.
Yes.
But it is still, nonetheless, like driving a car or solar powered car through the night isn't gonna fuck up. Like it has energy that's stored over time. Like with the houses, like
Yeah.
it's not wrong to do that stuff. It's of course technology is far, and that can be a conspiracy of why it's taking forever to come up with these kind of vehicles, and because of the fact that the big corporations don't want to lose their consumers to these type of vehicles that are efficient for the earth. They want to keep making the big bucks. They want to keep getting the money in their pockets, and those corporations can give money to politicians so they can keep money in their pockets, so they
Wake
can
up, America.
say yes, get woke.
Stay woke. This is
Stay woke.
America.
But yeah, that is a thing.
Don't
Another
get your
problem
sleeping
that
up.
those people of America can unfortunately have to go over. But I mean, at the day of this recording, yesterday was Earth Day, and hopefully,
Yes, this is
people-
in memory of Earth Day. Or not memory. This is a
In memory.
rip.
this is the thing about Earth Day. That's why we're talking about this in a way.
Basically.
Yes,
But I also want to mention there's actually another form of energy that scientists have been working on. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, but it's called hydro fuel cells. So it's basically
educate me, Daddy.
yeah. I looked it up so I can get the actual definition, so you guys won't have to hear me ignorantly talk about this. But a fuel cell is a device that converts chemical potential energy into electrical energy.
Yeah.
So it uses hydrogen gas H2 and oxygen gas O2 as fuel. The product of the reaction in the cell are water, electricity, and heat.
So you just
This is
hydrogen dioxide?
What was that?
Yeah.
This is a big improvement over internal combustion engines, coal burning, nuclear power. Since O2 is readily available in the atmosphere, we only need to supply the fuel cell with H2.
Oh, wow.
And electrolysis process, which is just another chemical reaction to take out H2 from different atoms.
Yeah.
Or different what's it called? Fuck, I forgot that chemistry term. So yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking loser.
There's actually a really good YouTube channel called Real Engineering, and they actually go into more into depth about the hydro fuel cells and other ways of helping the environment as well. So if anyone's interested, they can look up Real Engineering.
But really, though, in all seriousness, I feel like everybody needs to stay educated on this. If somebody doesn't know about climate change, tell them about climate change. If you want to go protest about it, go. We need to get as much information out as possible before it's too late. Because I for sure want to live to see, the day that my children are born and the day that my grandchildren. I'm so scared of, not living to see that day because of the ignorance that everybody has and the fucking president thinking that it's not real. I'm just it's scary to think about. This is a really deep topic.
And obviously we're amateurs, so we haven't given you every single.
Dude, there's a lot of information that we don't even know. But
Yeah, exactly.
the fact that we know this much, just like we're just trying to spread this information out because a lot of people need to know about this. I feel
We're
like
just not
yeah.
trying to spread it, but talk about it. Like,
Well, I'm trying to
shine a
spread
light.
it, bro. I'm trying to spread it.
well, I know in order to spread it, you need to talk about it.
I'll spread
gotta
the
start.
cheeks.
Gotta start. Anyway, yes, but you're talking about it just to shine a light, and you want to help, you're gonna help.
Go do it. Just go help. Do something. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, start from the small and then get to the big, I guess.
Recycle. There's a lot of recycling bins in colleges nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Might as
And if you don't have a recycling bin at the college campus, I'm sure there is. Use them for yourself. Like go do recycling at your home. I know there's a lot of places that recycles cans or whatnot. Sort out all the materials or all the stuff that you have. What is trash? What is recyclable? What is renewable? Something like that. Do something like that. Um, just I don't know, man. I want to live.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go ahead and start wrapping up. We got about a few minutes left.
Wrapping up. About the topic?
Yeah, dude, the whole podcast. What are you talking about?
The fuck?
It's been 45
Okay.
minutes.
Yeah, dude, it's
Oh, it has.
been
Oh,
a
shit.
while. Yeah.
All right.
I actually have a little story to say about this past weekend. It doesn't have to do with climate change, but it's pretty funny. Okay, so y'all know I went down to the valley. I went to visit my family for the Easter holiday back at the valley, and as I was ready to head back to San Antonio, I had to stop at a convenience store to pump some gas. Um, and as I was finishing up refilling, I noticed this guy waving me down, and I was like, oh shit, maybe he needs some help, right? So, me being the nice guy I am, I go over to see what he needs. I come up to the guy and ask him if everything's alright. He's like, yeah, man, I just wanted to know if you'd like a free bag of chips. I'm like, hell yeah, what do you mean? I want some chips. And he's like, it's a big bag of Funyuns. And I was like, dude, that's my favorite type of chips, you know what I mean? So I was like, fuck yeah, man, those are my favorite. He stops me then and there from getting them from his hands. And he's like, and he tells me only under one condition. And I'm like, okay, what? He says, you have to let me touch your dick.
What the fuck?
Nice.
I'm like, dude, what the
Sus.
fuck? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do you get that gay shit out of here? And I didn't even take
No
the
homo.
chips.
No, we're not homophobic.
Bro, I took off. I wasn't gonna deal with that shit. I had to make a long drive.
Wait, he
So-
was actually serious?
Yeah, he was serious. So,
For real?
yeah, dude. So look, the only reason why I'm
Damn.
telling you the moral, like this story, the moral of the story is don't talk to strangers, man.
Let's
Never
see how
talk to
you see what you did there.
Never talk to strangers.
Stranger
It's-
danger.
okay.
It's scary out there, man. A lot of people are sick. Man, I'm glad I didn't take those damn chips.
Maybe it's a good thing the Earth is dying.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right. Y'all got any plans for the week? For this coming week?
Not much other than seeing Endgame on Thursday.
Dude, I'm so ready for it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
finished all my
seeing
tests
Endgame.
too, so I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that much work this week.
That's good. That's good. All right. Well.
Also, I wanted to bring up the. I just want to thank everybody who supported us last video. I wasn't expecting the amount of views we got, but I just
Oh,
want to
yeah.
say,
Yeah.
just
Well,
plain and
thank you,
straight,
everyone.
just thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the dislikes too.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
feedback. Is
Very
very important.
appreciated. Yeah. If whoever disliked that, we're gonna take that to offense. No,
I don't give a
we're
shit.
good.
Yeah, we're not gonna let that
Honestly,
get to
a
us.
dislike is still a like. It still has the word like in it. So I mean,
I don't even care, man. All I know is that we got haters, and haters make waiters.
they hate us because they ain't us.
Anus.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, Michael. So what are you doing this week?
What am I doing this week? Yeah, it was class and Endgame and gonna chill.
Wait, Alex. When are you seeing Endgame?
Friday.
I am also
Friday.
seeing it Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And we'll talk
Oh,
about
so
it next week.
If you guys want to hear us talk about it on the next podcast, let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
If
maybe
not,
we'll have a
We'll have a
potential guest
spoiler
also.
warning, maybe. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we're-
another thing. We're gonna start doing guests next week, and then
It might not happen
Mhm.
every week, but it'll happen some weeks.
also I
Yeah.
do wanna mention that we're gonna pretty soon start a Q&A. So any questions that you want to ask us, you can find us on Twitter and make a thread.
Oh yeah.
I'll make a thread and be like, hey yo, what kind of questions you want to ask us? Go ahead.
Or you guys can DM us with personal questions if you want.
True.
If you
That's
don't
enough.
want us, if you don't want anybody to see it, right?
Yeah.
Look how big's your fucking dick.
I got a
It's about
solid
2 inches.
no.
Hard.
Anyways, okay.
All right, guys.
But yes.
Thanks for sticking around the whole podcast. I know this is a serious topic, but you know we made it through. So.
Yeah.
hmm
I've actually wanted to talk about global warming for quite some time, so
Mhm.
it's good to give awareness to others as well.
Mhm.
Quite some time. This is barely our second episode.
Mhm.
I've been wanting to talk about
well,
it since the
before our
first episode.
podcast.
We just fucking started, bro. All right, so thanks for tuning in. We'll go ahead and see you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Guys.